Oh, right. Apparently that wasn't set to the default, because the default now was something else. Yes. So this barely works. My coal plant barely works. I'm trying to think what else. I need to get... I might just try to get things laid out and then attempt to expand the power plant here. Seems to be working currently. Some are overclocked, some are underclocked. It's never consistent between that whole network. I think putting the battery will kind of help it out a little bit, because I'll give it at least some buffer when the thing breaks and goes down. I just want to give a good check-in on it real quick while I'm thinking about it. Yeah, see, it's just like... it's struggling. Struggling. Almost struggling. Not struggling at all. It's the most bizarre thing in the world. Do I need to get more water in through it all? I gotta wonder. I have a connector over here that I might be able to add a third one to. I don't know if it's like pumping the whole thing just with more and more water would make a difference or not. Resources not deep enough, not deep enough. Can't imagine, you know, 3 of these things not able to pump enough water up the hill into 5 coal plants. I think those maybe should have been the ones I had yet. Is it like losing a lot? Flow rate's at max. At max. And then it's at max again. And then where you hardly any headlift but lots of flow. Unless I should just drag up 3 pipes up here separately. It's just so crazy, like we're losing so much water. A perfect 75.3. not scared of clean water. But now it's not. It doesn't make a bit of sense. And then like there's hardly any water here. This whole thing here is just so wacky. Like these things are hardly getting any water. Is it that they need equal, like, I don't know, maybe the additional water will help. Only time will tell. But otherwise we can add quite a bit to the pipeline. We still have an overhead of, it fluctuates in between, you know, the 3, it fluctuates almost, that's a lot. It's a lot, it's just moving in between casually. I mean, there is some weight on the network now, but imagine if I was like, you know, really trying to push the limits here. Well, anyways, I know I need a refinery for a lot of things, so I need to go ahead and get a refinery core. That's going to be doing the alternative steel. A lot of things are going to need steel. I might need to make 2 of these. I mean, this one's going to need a smelter right there if I can even really start using it, so I'm not going to worry too much about that. We can move quite a lot. Steel beams can just pump out screws, which is crazy. And ingots, we can go straight into screws now. We can completely avoid screws, so we can go ahead and make rods with these. Oops. One step at a time. We're just gonna have a spot for it. I need to see what else needs to be made with steel versus iron. That's still going to be an amazing way to do screws. Just like, it's so weird. It's like, oh, we'll go from this expensive material right down. Steel pipes is still a thing. And there's still cadmium wire and quick wire, so these two, I don't need as much quick wire. I can just have a slower route for that. Oh, that's something I need to make my... I don't need necessarily two... I don't need really 2 rounds of these things making copper sheets. I need to make one of them to do copper wire. I forgot about copper wire. Which needs... I don't have the ingredient or the alternative for... Alright. I'm just gonna leave the copper as it is right now.
What's up, Giga?
Well, that's a name in my voice I haven't heard in a long time.
Yeah, same here. You sound a little bit deeper. What happened, man? Started smoking?
No, it's just a more relaxing day than normal.
Yeah, I gotcha.
When I get into those fights, I get more pitched.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, I got you, man.
I just been playing Satisfactory lately.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Yeah, trying to get stuff all set up in Steam, which is something I rarely did. I've always launched from standalone launchers, so it's a little tricky in trying on some of the stuff. Like Warframe had to like get rid of the standalone, and just, I mean, you could definitely say add game, but you know, just it wasn't doing, you know, tracking and other things, so had to uninstall the standalone and then, you know, install through Steam, and it's like ridiculous.
This is on Planet side?
Not just Planet side. I never used Steam for Planet side Steam, never. So, and then tracking, because I have 2 EA accounts and Ubisoft account. I only have one of those, so you know, trying to get that stuff all in here into Steam. Plus my Rust stuff, so, well, Rust I downloaded and installed from there, but I've got Escape from Tarkov, so I got a few like non-Steam games, so, to be honest, I really haven't played a lot of any games here in like the last almost year. I've just been busy with my investments, so, and then right now I just pulled a lot of money out of the market and kind of sitting on some things because I just don't want to burn up my account more than I have. I mean, I've lost like 45 grand this year, but I also made 96 grand too. So
I'm streaming,
you know,
by the way, just in case you were curious.
Oh, okay. We don't need that save, do we?
It was kind of end up being whatever at this point. I mean, I usually don't get much in the way of viewers.
Yeah.
I just kind of do it more for myself than anything.
Yeah, put the time in, right?
Yeah, eventually, hopefully get something out of it.
Yeah, at some point in time we would hope. Yeah. So, anyways, yeah, things are going pretty good though. How about yourself, man?
What was the last time we talked?
I mean, on Discord, I think, but that was like I think maybe January or something.
Really?
Yeah, I think so.
That's crazy.
You've been busy with school, I think, and then plus also job, and then doing investing plus playing games. So,
I haven't been in school in quite a while.
oh, see, yeah, we haven't talked about that before. So, I just know
What
that
what was
you've
my
been
last
working with a
job?
job, and
Yeah, what was the last job I told you about?
you're doing, I think, some not programming. Yeah, I think programming or something like that.
Man, that was a long time ago.
How's it been?
I did IT auditing for like a whole year. Like,
So, what are you doing now?
I am a automation engineer.
Oh yes, automation. No, I do remember you saying that before. So it has been a while, but it hasn't been that long ago. Automation
No, it
engineer.
had to be a long time because I just started that here at the beginning of the month.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Huh. What are you working with? Ansible or what?
So it's a company that like makes the controls systems and everything. So using like Rockwell and Siemens material,
Mm. Oh, gotcha. No, I meant like
PLCs.
the automation systems, that are there. You get like Microsoft Forms. There's that through
Now
Teams,
we're talking
but
about like like industrial automation.
hmm oh,
So
gotcha.
your PLC controllers and things like that.
Hmm
What is this thing
Right.
making? Rods, and that thing's making
Hmm.
steel pipes. You should pull up my stream so you can see what I'm doing.
Yeah, in a minute. Like I said, I've been busy with this stuff, and I saw you were in game and online kind of thing. So it's like, it's been a while, and I'm kind of got a pause in gaming and stuff.
Yeah, I just kind of do my own thing these days. I haven't really played PlanetSide but like once in the past little while,
Right.
and there just hasn't been much of an opportunity to.
Yeah, I haven't been able to figure out whether the gameplay is kind of still dying out or whatever. So let's see. Uh, I hate capture that looks like crap, man. Stuff that blends, and you're like, what the hell?
I had one the other day. It was like find all adult cats or whatever, and it's just like these are just all pictures of cats. How like is there like a special skill you need to be able to identify between like fully grown
Check
cats?
between the legs, man. Check between the legs.
And it's just like showing you the face of a cat, and it's like, what am I supposed to do with this?
Oh, right.
And it's like some of them kind of look like AI generated cats. I'm like, what is up with this cat? Why does it look so wacky?
Yeah, no doubt. It looks wacky. Okay, let's see what we got.
Ooh, copper wire and plates. That's right. I had an alternative for a lot of these things. Man, this whole system is just like breaking my brain. It's alternative. What? What is this combo? Okay, bolted frame is better. But no, these whole recipes are horrible. Oh my god. I get too many options and not enough brain power to consolidate them all. Alright. I need to... So I'm getting copper wire underground. It's underground. I have 2 levels in this factory that I'm building. So I need to split. I need a split around that. I need more brain juice. More expensive brain juicing. Get rid of that.
Right.
Splitter, yes. Split, yes, we're gonna split, and then we need one of these to go to this, and another one to go up. It's gonna be what I want it to do, but I'm about to have the twisty, curvy, bendy lines, the twisty and curvy, bendy lines.
Right.
Wow, great! This goes right through another cable. This is amazing.
You said your Twitch stream or something? You said you were streaming.
I'm on YouTube. It's like I used to have a Restream going, but Restream, the actual like Restream.io, they decided to put a watermark on everything. And this other one that I was using just got straight up bought out and didn't tell anybody. I guess they were just making such a low usage that it was just better for them to not say anything and just book it.
Oh. So you haven't been doing anything on Twitch for a while?
No, I just like...
I see 2 months ago, yeah.
I mean, like, why? I'm gonna have to just like go through the extra effort of, you know, exporting it to YouTube anyways, because Twitch won't archive it.
Yeah. Yep.
So what have you been doing investment-wise?
Investment-wise, just, you know, the stock market itself, you know, just catching a few good ones here and there, a few terrible ones here and there, that kind of thing. You know, it is an up and down market, but, you know, it's just, I have been losing a lot of money as much as I did at the first of the year. Actually, I was, you know, the February, March, in a June area time frame, I lost like 45 grand, but just kind of held back. And I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna sit back. I'm kind of reassessing and looking at possibly doing an investment over a short-term rental. So doing Airbnb, probably one over in Puerto Rico, contemplating it.
Sounds cool.
Well, you know, the home prices down there are just so dirt cheap compared to here, and plus the you know, there are sites that aggregate Airbnb and Vrbo data, and so, you know, one that I trust, my real estate agent and then a couple other investors use, it's called airdna.co, and so it shows all the statistics in the area, and you can even break down to an address that has that info from Airbnb or Vrbo, and you see generally on average what it's done nightly, and then occupancy rate, so, which is useful. Some pretty high occupancy rates there in Puerto Rico. You know, it goes all the way from being on the outskirts, or, you know, the outer skirts of the island, different parts of it's about 74%, and goes up to 83% going into San Juan area. just because it's more clustered in the old San Juan area. So 83% occupancy rate for 365 days a year off of one is, roughly around just a little over 300 days per year being rented out on Airbnb. And then the average is about 149 a night for one bedrooms. Studio and one bedrooms are kind of a split between, like, I think $69 to 140, 100, $150 a night. So dependent upon, obviously your amenities and how you have it furnished. So yeah, pretty exciting to look at that type of stuff, but it's just a matter of, getting into that start. It's not just easy peasy, buy the place and everything else, furnish it, put it on Airbnb and set up kind of like a scheduling type system. Because you can put it up on Airbnb and for Bo, but the problem is being able to, really keep up with scheduling. So if you, have Airbnb, rents it out for 5 nights, you don't want it, to be accidentally double booked, that kind of thing on Verbo. So, there's those systems. But the other key thing too is it's a lot of work in the beginning. So I'm kind of considering that, which means I might have to fly down there, on a moment's notice on some things. But there is management companies there too that charge upwards to 25%. So kind of considering that aspect of it as well. But kind of after everything's said and done, one place I was looking at was for 100. This is an instance, for instance. There's a lot of properties, by the way, but $170,000 for a duplex, just freshly remodeled, outside, inside, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, full carport. Like 2 cars can go in there, and then there's the driveway, which blocks the carport in if you put a car there. But on-street parking, pretty good neighborhood. It's not on a main drag. It's off from a main drag, so just by a few blocks. So you can do the on-street parking, not worry about too much. But then the other unit is a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, and which is kind of strange. Some of these places are like, oh, it's a 2-bedroom, 3-bath, or it's like, why do you got 3 bathrooms and two bedrooms? That kind of thing.
That converted garage.
Yes, something like that, right? But they're interesting properties there, and then the figures are there to support it. But after everything's said and done off of that property, with a 25% management fee, which then, they schedule, the fix and repairs, if there's some repairs that need to be done, or if they manage the house cleaning, the housemaids that would come in and clean the place and stuff like that, turn around for each guest. That's what they get their 25%. You could be looking at as low as $40,000 and even upwards towards about $90,000 a year after all expenses. So it's just a matter of having that time to do that. So
I don't have that time yet.
I really don't either. But the thing of it is, I might have to start taking some emergency vacation days and stuff like that from work. And really, I would have to put, quite a few of those underneath me, 3 to 5 of those to really start replacing my income right now with work. So it's going to be that kind of challenge, like, when do I break away from my day-to-day job? So.
Yeah.
And become an entrepreneur full time. So.
Yeah, one of these days, maybe I'll get there.
Yeah, I'll be right back. Hang on. Okay, back. Sorry about that.
Debating your life choices again.
No, neighbor. He wanted to see if I want to go out riding motorcycles here in the next couple of days. So he said, like, I got to run gas out of this other one. It's been sitting around for a while. I'm going, Chris, just, pull that little rubber hose off there. Turn that peacock and drain the damn tank. Put good stuff in it.
But it's so cheap.
And then you run it while you're in your garage until it gets everything out of the carburetor, and then put that gas back in, brand new gas back in it. Okay.
Oh man, this is looking jank.
No, I don't think I have your YouTube channel.
You can
though.
click on my guy in Discord, and there's like a way to like see all my connections, and there's the YouTube link in there.
Yeah, I think I remember that, man. Let's see.
They just went into the void.
Oh, good. You set up a delay on your stream. Good.
Oh, it's just built in. I don't have to do the delay, it just naturally works.
Just naturally works. Oh, for YouTube, yeah. Yes, that's the thing I like about, Twitch and Streamlabs. You can set up my delays.
Well, Streamlabs is just a
set up for
Streamlabs is just a fork of OBS, anyways.
Yeah.
Alright. This one's going to be a pretty jank setup in comparison to some of the other ones, but it might actually be a bit smoother sailing in general.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, I was subscribed. I just didn't have the notification bell turned on. Or maybe I did, but at some point in time, but it was off now. So.
Gilgamesh got on here one night, and we just like chat for like 4 hours straight, and I was asking about his train job, and then he told me about some guy that he knew who played this game, and so he got him online, and we talked for like another 4 hours. It was just like straight up 8 hours of non-stop talking. It was like 3 a.m. before I got done everything. It was just ridiculous.
Right. Yeah, I did like a 24-hour stretch on Rust at one time. I mean, I've only got like 50 plus hours on it now, but
yeah, you build this giant, big old space elevator here, and then you feed it materials. That's the whole goal, is to feed it yum-yums, and it does it. Okay, I'm trying to figure out what I need next. So I'm making plates. Now I gotta have a galaxy brain here. I'm trying to figure out like where the heck things are that I need to be building with. Oh, that's a foundry. Right. I need an assembler. Okay, good. And I guess I can put you here for now. Oh, that's probably a terrible spot for it, because I'm going to probably have to use this resource on this jank right here just to build it. I'm gonna need to make one of these things, so to make these modular frames I still need plates anyways, so I'm guessing plates with rods is gonna be, no, plates with screws. So I got screws coming out of the wall sphincters, so I think this guy makes screws. What do you make? What do you make? What are you making? Are you making anything? like the wall sphincter here. What do you make? I think you're making something. Don't make me go down there. I don't think it's even turned on. You make screws. Okay, yeah, that's exactly what I needed. If I had electricity, I could actually power you. Aha. You're going to be making rods. Good. Good. Some other things might need rods. Steel pipes. I don't even know what the heck needs steel pipes right now. I don't even know if I need to be making those. I may not need anything steel pipe. Oh, I think I need... What do you make in case... Okay, steel beams is what I need with the concrete. Okay, so we're still going to be making these with the screws that I'm going to be making a ton of. So you come in here. Actually, I need to make I need to do a 7. Alright, whatever. Can't make it for some reason. Thing. Oh, right. So you make modular frames and you have no electricity, which is fine. Need to upgrade the power pole here. Upgrade it. Powered. I'm probably just going to get a bunch of fuse breaks here in a minute. So all the things that are about to go online. As soon as I get any kind of amount of flow going to it. That does concrete. That's dedicated concrete. So I need to get a splitter on that. Splitter. Good.
You should look and see if you can get a sponsorship from Manscaped. Sorry, I was looking at another YouTube video and that guy's like, yeah, and our sponsor, and I'm like, oh, great, you know.
Which one of like the 5 that do it, you know?
You know, one of 5 what?
Like, there's like main,
streamers?
yeah, no main like, you know, YouTube sponsors or whatever. It's always like,
no.
yeah, it's always like Manscaped, HelloFresh, or whatever.
Yes, yeah. Manscaped. That's why I was like, you should see if you get a sponsorship from Manscaped, because we say balls. That's their motto. The lawnmower 4.0. I wonder how many RPMs that goes.
It's just
or the weed whacker. Ear and nose trimmer. Or you can always try the crop preserver.
Oh no.
Helps with anti-chafing, so yes. Oh, and there's the crop reviver. So that's the ball spray toner. Don't want old wrinkly man balls.
For all the prevention that can be done on that.
Yeah, no doubt. Oh, hang on, magic mat, disposable shaving mats. So apparently you can stand on it, do your shaving. That's funny, man.
7.
Good golly.
Oh, I really can't afford it. Why am I poor all of a sudden? Give it here. Yeah. I just need some conveyors because I'm going to upgrade them all again later anyways. I only have 1. I used to have a bunch of these plates, but I've been burning through them like crazy. Then everything just gets like upgraded as I go along. Not what I want to do, but all right. I'll live with it. you're gonna be making these because steel pipes is a thing. Let's do that for the moment. Because steel pipes comes out of this guy. You make steel pipes. That's good. That's good. Come here, son. We're gonna make some steel pipes out of you. I need more plates to make more steel pipes so I can... I don't even know what the heck I'm gonna be doing with them. I think I just need them for something. Wait, was it the versatile frames that needed them? I don't even know anymore. I don't even know what I'm doing. I'm just like, got things going because I got them going.
Yeah.
I have been very unsuccessful in my market endeavors. Also, given now that well, particularly for the past several months, being able to do remote work hasn't helped with my trading at all. I just like don't really have the capital to do like basic level of protections, and then I'm just like stuck on a little cash account. So if I goof up, I'm like done for the whole week, basically, or done until the end of the day. So you miss out on so much more doing that.
Yeah, I've got a cash account. I've been doing okay with it. But the other margin account seems to be doing a little bit better because I can do some of these spreads through the time, or a couple of these butterflies. Just been picking up stuff, and now that Pistol Pete is back, he does more of those, and he's so great at explaining, not just the position and why you would take something like that on, but you can see how inexpensive. Instead of doing $300 risk, you're doing like a $30 risk, for some of the stuff with the potential gain of $100. So that's 300% doesn't mean you're going to get that, but you could get up to that 300%, and you're risking $30 for that. So just small little stuff to chunk away. It might be better to take a look at that, as a margin account instead. The margin account, you have to have 2,000 in there.
Yeah,
at
the
a
20K.
bare minimum.
You need that 20K to just to like do basic
Well,
things.
I know, but you at a minimum $2,000 for a small account, right? You don't have to have that 25,000, but you're limited to three or to what is it, 4 in and out trades a week, that kind of thing, in a 5-day period. So you don't have to trade that much in that account, versus then you can, especially like with TD Ameritrade. I mean, you could just easily, when you're inside of Thinkorswim, just go from one account to the other. So put on like a credit spread or something like that, and then you flip over to your cash account, and you can kind of sort of maintain it, watching it on the same chart, doing similar position, or at least with a similar security. So if you're like doing SPY credit spread or something like that in your margin account, then you can probably be looking at doing something like in your cash account of SPY, and being able to kind of turn that around and so forth. So SPY has been pretty wonky, and it has been pretty low. Its low of day has been low of like this whole year. So
Yeah.
at some time and point, we're going to see that snapback. So maybe something a little bit longer, a 2-month or even a 1-month. Looking at, because the quarterly is coming up here in 3 days. So there's going to be a lot of market manipulation up and down, snapping back and forth. So that's one of the key things. And lately, I've just been kind of staying out. I did enter a position today, but got out of it. I lost only $40, but I only leveraged, 100. Only put in $100 for it.
Yeah.
I did. It was basically was it 20 contracts, $5 per contract, but it was kind of ridiculous. It's was a call end of the week. Was it 390 or something like that? So, but yeah. Hey, what's up there, Bullet Storm?
Hey,
Bullet,
Trevor.
bullet, bullet, bullet.
How it even 50, 56 now.
Oh, nice. On which ASP though?
I know, I'm just looking at your avatar. So what's up, guys?
Just
Not
hanging
much.
out.
Right. Yeah. Hence, this is no game channel. We're just chatting about things like investing and stuff like that.
Oh. Like futures, like gas and electricity stuff.
I haven't traded futures, but no, like real estate,
I want to get into
common
futures at some
stock,
point.
options. Yeah, same here. I mean, I've been doing some forex, been doing okay in the forex too. So, yeah, you don't even have to have a large account in forex with the broker I'm with, and I think they give you a 100x margin. So,
What's the inflation right now in the US?
Stupid.
8.2%.
Yeah, then it's a good thing to be investing right now.
Well, you know, the thing of it is, Bullet, you look at the securities that are out there that you can make money when they're going up or whether they're going down. So in a bear or bullish market, doesn't matter. So those things are like options, stock options, and against U.S. commons or other stock. Doesn't have to be U.S. commons, but common stock that's not in the OTC. That's the penny market stock
Over the
market.
counter.
Yeah, exactly. And then there's forex. So forex is on your world currencies. So in futures, like you're talking about there, you know, those are different. But you could be making money off of futures by shorting the futures in a bad market. So yeah, there's ways to make money when the market's going up or down. So just because it's going down, you know, everyone thinks the sky's falling. But all I got to say is that makes the stock prices cheaper to buy them because they will eventually go back up. That's natural progression. They will naturally get to a point in time where they're too big and they'll split, such as just like Google just did with and Amazon with their 15 or was it 15? No, 10 to 1 split. So for every one share you had, it got split by 10. It doesn't devalue it. It's the same value. You just get 10 shares that equal that value of what that one share was. So, and at stock splits, you know, there could be some hype leading up to it. So literally, you know, where I tell people, the way I do it is I would go ahead and sell prior to the split. Why would I sell prior to the split? Because I could buy back those shares cheaper, but if they have a tendency to go down after the hype, which they do, then I haven't lost any money. So usually I sell that out to capture my gains off that hype. And so that's a way you can do it as well too. And then,
Okay, so
I mean,
you're really trading there. That's what you're doing. You're really trading kind of no long-term things going on.
long term, you're looking at things like the bond and treasuries, stuff like that.
No.
You know, stuff like that is more longer term because it really doesn't have such a higher percentage payout. You know, you're looking at between 6 and 10%, depending upon which ones you get into. So, but long term, what are you talking about? Just I buy stock and hold
No,
it
I mean,
forever,
I
or
think
what?
most people just get long-term where they spread their investments and they get it like a general return between 10 to 15%.
Oh yeah.
But
So
it's not
dividend
about
stock.
trading.
Yeah, dividend stock might be what you're also talking about too, where
Mhm.
you hold common shares of stock, and then they pay out dividends for you holding on to those shares. Or at that time and point, they'll say, "Oh, we're going to pay this dividend out to anybody for X amount of shares at this date and time." So it's not like a surprise. You wake up the next morning. They let you know that per each one of your commons, you'll get this as a dividend. So that's a way you can make money too, and just keep your money in and slowly builds that way. But the action or volatility that's in the market space, you can actually make money play in that market and be more active than just throw your money in there and let it build. Because if you look at things like in 2020, Apple share, basically, if you had Apple, doesn't matter the amount that you have vested in it, you would have only made 38%. Now that's a great return on your investment. 38%, you put in $1,000. Come on, what's 38 of $1,000? 380, right? So, but in 2020, I made 178% off of Apple. How did I do that? By following the trends. They go up, they go down. You know, everyone says buy low, sell high. But also, too, you can make money in the options market. So, yep. Anyways, that's what we were kind of just playing around and discussing in here. So, so it's a
Yeah,
no
so, but
gameplay.
it's really like day trading or whatever. Like the stocks go up, stocks go down. You kind of trying to
Right.
anticipate it. You kind of get the gist of it. Like I think oh, Crunch also does this.
Yeah, Crunch does futures. Yeah.
But for me, it's more about. I mean, you know, I know that some people they do the cryptocurrency where,
Mhm.
for as long as I know, not much. There's no companies behind it. It's just purely 100% just trading. And
Right, but look
so,
at Bitcoin. Bitcoin is one of your biggest ones. I mean, I
Mhm.
was actually mining that stuff back in 2010 and trading it in
Wait, wait, wait.
non-American exchanges because
That stuff
it.
existed all the way back then?
Oh yeah, dude, it did. I was mining it. I actually used to. I think my mining rig back then would do about 5 or 10 Bitcoin per month, and then I think about 21 Litecoin back then. And then, you know, looking at power consumption and other things at the time, and then the price of Bitcoin being between $2 and then went up to $35 and then been slowly going up.
Wait, your
Um,
mining rig, is that like a computer that you keep running the entire time?
yeah,
With
yeah,
yeah, with
exactly.
with the software that does the Bitcoin stuff for you, right?
Yeah. So that's the thing, though. Bitcoin is going to be very hard to do from just like one single, like a gaming rig, guys.
he types it in manually into the computer. That's how he calculates it.
Yeah, exactly. I got a Bitcoin slot built on my computer now. Because the tremendous hashing power that's required in creating, especially like Bitcoin. The other thing too is you've got the Bitcoin and various in the other crypto that there is limitations to it, meaning that there's only a certain amount ever that could ever be made of
Yes.
Bitcoin or Litecoin or any of the others. That gives it the value. The other part to it that gives it value is not only trading it itself, but there are companies that do accept that as a payment method. Hell, Amazon takes Bitcoin. Newegg takes Bitcoin. Hell, they've been doing that for almost 8 years, guys. So you
But
can
that's
use it
important.
as money, but why do that? So best thing to do is if you can, you know, mine it or you buy it and hold it. Mine it and hold it.
There's some
Oh,
things you have to know about cryptocurrency where they have a detailed algorithm, and I think one of the things about Bitcoin is that
yes, that's
in a
correct.
certain amount of time, the mining will go to zero.
Well, I mean, the main thing with it is as there are more people mining it, and new blocks have been discovered and solved, the more
Hmm.
difficulty rate that goes up. So mind you this, that back then I was probably mining with an old GTX 300 series or something like that, EVGA. I know that's kind of laughable right now, but
That was the stuff back
I was
then.
mining. Yeah, that was your top of the line because it was transferring over. It actually began with CPU mining, guys. And
Yes.
then when the difficulty rate became too much, that basically you're really overclocking your processor. That they developed a new hashing algorithm to do the Bitcoin hashing on a GPU. And so they were also selling like these small little rigs. They had like maybe 300, whatever, kilohash, and then times these little extras that were like USB devices that you could attach to your computer. So basically,
Yeah,
instead of
ethics.
good,
Integrated circuits, so application-specific integrated circuits for doing the hash.
yeah. I mean, if you have a pretty decent rig, you could always look at like Nice Hash. You know, it's pretty good. It's a single GUI. You don't have to worry about setting up scripts. All you have to do is just set up your BTC mining address that they pay out to. And then from that payout, you can always just send it to an exchange if you want, or you can send it offline if you have like BTC Armory or some other offline application, and you can put
Oh,
it
yeah,
on a
for sure.
USB drive if you want. So you have it offline, completely offline cold storage.
I have hardware keys, so I probably encrypt it with that, and then have it in like yeah, something like that.
Right. So let me tell you something here real fast on this is, okay, now BTC, when I was mining it and it was being traded, I think it was right around about $10 to $20 per Bitcoin. Now, over the years, we've had surges and stuff like that, crashes. But you want to know what? Too many people call them these things crashes. It's not a crash, it's a loss. But is it really a loss if you continue to add on to your position and then it surges again? So the cycles seem to be every 2.5, 3 years, guys. So our last cycle was just, here in 2021. Look to 2024, and you're probably going to see another surge. So what I mean is, I've been in the surge where it went from basically $20 on up close to $100, and dropped down to about 80, and then it surged up to 150. It surged up to 300, and then dropped back down to like 125. Surged up to 800, and then in 2018, it got as high as $19,000 per Bitcoin. Where's Bitcoin at right now? $18,000, right? But shortly after that, they call it the crash, but it actually lost in that position, went all the way down. I think it dropped as low as like $3,400 per Bitcoin. And then we had that sudden surge here where it surged up as almost as high as $67,000 per Bitcoin, guys. Bitcoin's back down to 18,000. You don't have to buy a whole Bitcoin. That's the whole thing about cryptocurrency, is you're buying fractions of it. That currency breaks down into 8 octets or numbers below that point. So you got 0.1 would be a penny, basically, right? But you have 0.000000001 is your very lowest that you can buy. Okay, so you can buy fractions of Bitcoin or any cryptocurrency. You don't have to have 18 grand to invest in Bitcoin. But what you do need to have is either money or a mining rig to create Bitcoin. Now, if you don't have a good rig, you can't mine Bitcoin. And trust me, even the smallest, tiniest amount that you can create from Nice Hash, that tiny amount can add up to later. But the energy consumption that it's using might be more than what you're paying in electricity costs. So you really got to look at stuff like that. What's that?
Especially when you live in Europe right now.
Right. That's the biggest thing too. Yes, you have to look at that. So like right now, I just look at my stats. I've got one, and it's running while I'm gaming. When I'm not gaming, I get about 40% more in hashing speed. So right now it's at 35. It's average 35 mega hash hashing on Bitcoin, but the power consumption is 160. So out of a 750 watt power supply, plus then my gaming, kicks that up another about 70 watts. So you've got to think about, how much you're paying in that electricity versus what you're getting. So back then, as Bitcoin's kind of going up, but the price of electricity was too. Plus, I was learning how to do some trading of it. Mostly did a lot of losses on Bitcoin and Litecoin, but gained back quite a bit. And then on one exchange that ended up being part of a Silk Road seizure, I don't know if you guys know that stuff, but just look it up on Google. It was part of that in 2013, 2014. I had like 40 Bitcoin on one of the exchanges. I went to go log in to do some trading, and there's a big FBI blue logo, and it said the FBI has seized this and all the systems and everything contained on the systems. And they gave us no recourse. Or maybe the people threw that up on the website and took all the Bitcoin off the exchange. I don't know. Either case, it was stolen one way or the other. FBI never gave me any recourse, or the owner, and it just was an exchange in, I think, I want to say Czechoslovakia or something like that. I don't know. It was one of those over there, because you couldn't trade on in the United States. There was absolutely no exchanges that were United States sanctioned. Matter of fact, it was illegal.
Oh, that's not good.
Well,
And
for
I
sure.
think it was 2017 is when they allowed the first one, and I think it was Coinbase. So
And I think there's been more scams even with US-based ones.
Okay.
yeah, no, it was exactly.
Yes,
And I've
making
been
rosin.
it-
Yes,
it was tricky trying to get your money over into one of those foreign exchanges, because if your bank saw that going outside, oh, that was tough. So I had to put money into my PayPal, pay out to the entity, and then buy Bitcoin or Litecoin or whatever I wanted on the exchange. So going from crypto to fiat, that was another challenge. So fiat to crypto, or fiduciary industry, whatever, for fiat, basically
You know-
cash money going to crypto, and then crypto
If
to
your bank
cash.
sees the money going out, they panic. But if the money comes in, then you have troubles with the government.
Right. And then some of those exchanges too, it wasn't an instantaneous transfer if you're trying to cash it out to fiat and then put it in
Mhm.
back into an
Oh, yeah.
account. Usually there was a 24 to 48-hour period for your safety, supposedly.
Did
That
they
kind
ever
of thing.
have some sort of a VAT or tax that you had to pay on top
Nope.
in foreign exchanges?
Nothing was being tracked at those
Because
times.
most countries, except the US, have a concept of value-added tax, and so
Oh yeah.
most countries you have to pay even if you're trading.
Right, but you're looking at cryptocurrency was pretty much like the wild west.
Mhm.
How do you track
Yeah.
it? It's all anonymous by these
Well,
addresses.
I guess the
know,
payout, yeah.
and then
And
now
then
they've
you can
forcing
control it
exchanges
without
to
knowing.
report the transactions. So, right, so that they have to report those transactions. The exchanges
Oh, yeah?
do now. It was just government agencies weren't aware
Mhm.
of this. Back then, we were doing just Litecoin, Bitcoin, and I think there was a couple others. I can't remember off the top of my head. I mean, we're talking 10 plus years
Ethereum?
ago, guys. So,
They're probably right now they're thinking, well, it's never gonna go away. We have to regulate it. But before they probably didn't want to hear about it.
yes. And I love these little squeaker kids. I call them squeaker kids. These crypto millionaires that are no longer
Oh, God.
they're crypto
The
zeros.
crypto influencers.
They, yeah, they were experts, man. Yeah, those experts been wiped out. Especially, did you guys ever hear, like, last year there was this dude that just piled on Dogecoin? He cashed out everything he could and bought out like 187 or 189,000 in Dogecoin. And then when Doge went from the fractions of pennies and then jumped to like 29 cents, it made him an instant millionaire, and then went up to like, I think it got as high as like 64 or 65 cents and started crashing back down. But all this time, he was on this thing called Millennial Millionaires or something like that. They were like interviewing him because they heard about his story, and with the slight dips and retracements, dipping downwards and retracing back up. Sorry, those are some terms, but he was like, "Oh nope, I'm gonna hold on till it shoots to the moon, all the way to $1, like Elon Musk said." Right? I don't know if he's still holding, but if he was holding, he's an idiot now, because I think it's down to like 13 cents per. Yeah, he still made a lot of money, but I think at one time and point, he had gotten up to almost $15 million. Yeah, I would have sold that shit. Sorry. He bought fractions of pennies a month before Doge even cleared 1 cent. Okay, 1 cent. and he bought $187,000 worth of Doge. And he's like 25, 30 million. And they're like, are you still going to continue? It's like, oh yeah, it'll go to the moon. I mean, and as soon as I seen that huge dip hit from 64 and forced all the way down to 55 in less than an hour, I would have been out. Boom, done. Well before then. All you need to do is, so in trading, it doesn't matter whether you're doing cryptocurrency, stock, options, doesn't matter, guys. You need to know how to read the charts. The charts can tell you whether investors are madly getting in and out or if they're slowly resisting. Okay, so that's what learning the charts helps you do, and then hopefully helps you maintain your capital, not lose capital. Now I'm going to say something real fast too, is if you buy something and the next day or the next minute it goes down in price, do you lose any money? That's a question.
I get
If I
questioned
bought
enough all day.
Apple stock, if I bought Apple stock at $100 and then the next minute turned to $99, did I lose any money? Bullet, undertow. You
Oh,
don't?
But
You don't know?
you only when you sell, you lose it.
Sorry. Well-
Right. When you sell it for less than what you bought it for. I didn't say sell it and it goes down $1.
Mhm.
But in the next minute it turns to $101. Did you make any money? No, because you still haven't sold it.
Oh.
So you
That's
get
not
these
fast.
people that's like, I wouldn't be buying in the stock market. It's going down. Okay,
That's the
let me
perfect time to
say
get in.
this. Yeah, do you go to the store and if you see a sale on something, do you go, shit, it's losing money. I better not buy it? You go to Walmart and it's 50% off. Shit, it's losing money. I better not buy it. Let me wait until it goes back to the regular price. That's how easy of a
goods,
mentality.
Perishable,
Yeah,
perishable goods.
yeah. Well, I know it's perishable goods, either case, but I'm so, you know, hey, it could be just a brick wall you're buying. I didn't say what it was you're buying.
Hmm. Yeah, I know.
So is a brick wall perishable? To a point, yes. Yeah, you guys get what I'm trying to get on this. The best
Yeah.
time to buy is when the market dips down like it is. Add on, add on, add on. When
Okay,
code-
can I talk
Go ahead.
about the headaches of cryptocurrency as a developer?
Perhaps.
I guess I mean, could go lightly into that. We were just, again, talking about investing, but yeah, sure, go ahead.
So at some point, Google Play Store and the iOS Store had to screen apps for hidden Bitcoin miners, because if you mine on a CPU x86 where you have a game on, it's less efficient than you mine on a smartphone. And if you
Right.
can mine distributed with an app, like say you make a game, you can use their CPU, ARM with GPU, whatever. And then so people were actually starting to do that. Actually, I also saw a book of a guy that made his website run JavaScript vectors to solve points. And I still remember guys that want to heat their house running GPUs instead of regular heaters, because you know losses
Yep.
heat. If you need heat and you're going to heat with electricity, you might as well just do some computation on the way out.
Yeah, drop your thermostat a bit and crank up the CPU, GPUs. Sure.
That is one thing. You can also do a heat pump if you have that, but then, yep, that's my 2 cents. Oh no, yeah, no. Everybody also keeps saying blockchain, blockchain, blockchain on every single problem that we're having at work.
Sounds
Like-
ridiculous.
Yeah, it used to be a buzzword like buzzwords are in the management things, but then at some point they kind of thought, let's make or was it a digital wallet based on blockchain? And I'm like, why blockchain? So yeah, they want to like I don't know. Okay, Antwerp, it's known for diamonds.
Yep.
They wanted to do traceability on diamonds. They want to do this on the blockchain, but it's a private blockchain, and there is only like 1 or 2 actors. And then you go like, what? Use the database.
Right. You know,
Right.
all these cryptos that popped up, I never jumped into them just because of these reasons you're going to point out. I kind of got an idea where you're heading to, so why on these blockchains? And then,
Well-
of course, everybody trying to pump and dump on these things.
Well, you have to know that blockchain is not only for currency. Blockchain is also for
yeah.
data. And so there's a thing called smart contracts where you make how do I say this? Okay, so money is basically not really money. It's not a value, but it's a combination of transactions. The reason why actually this Bitcoin, it's a virtual thing, and people are just giving money to each other, right? These are transactions. And so you can also trade stuff that is not divisible. That's what basically is called an NFT. But that those non-divisible tokens, they can also be computer code. So some people are trying to use this to store data in between, how do you say this, parties. And there is even a concept of a company that is run by multiple parties on the blockchain. So then all the contracts are put on a blockchain in between the parties, and they kind of, instead of passing around money, they pass around signatures. I believe there's even a coding framework for this, but yeah. You still there, Traven?
I think he is. I'm here.
I'm trying to get my head wrapped around this, but the whole stock markets and whole stock markets and trading things, it's just another thing that just makes my head spin a little bit too much.
Should
One
It's
of the things
it's
you look
interesting to
at
hear about.
is just long-term holding is the one thing that a lot of people end up doing, and they don't do it like pulling money out of their wallet and just giving it to a broker. A lot of them, you hear it because they have a 401k through work or whatever, a 403b through work, or maybe they have a Roth IRA. In those ways, you'll actually build your account and your retirement a little bit better with those versus just putting your money into a savings account. But then again, savings account has been post-tax, meaning money that came out of your pocket, and after it's been taxed from your employer, and they give it to the tax man. So you can put it into the Roth IRA. The 401k is pre-tax, so when you take that money out, but you can't take it out until you're retired on the 401k or age 59. Same with the Roth IRA. The Roth IRA, you can pull it out, but there's a possibility of getting penalized. But you can set up these kind of like savings type accounts through brokerages, where you save and put it away, and it's already post-tax money, and you're not using it to make any kind of financial gains. You're just trying to have that as kind of like a savings account, but can actually give you more of a percentage rate for interest than a savings account through a bank. And what I'm saying is the interest that they give you on the maintained the maintained amount that's in the account is much lower than trying to trade it in the stock market per se, right? I could do a trade and I can make, or lose a certain percentage. In savings accounts, they don't lose percentages, they gain percentages, but at fractions of what I would make in the stock market or options. But you can do that and use savings accounts even with your bank to save for things and buy those instead of buy stuff with credit. So if you think about this, credit is such a way of robbing your wealth for later. You don't think about it. It's like, oh, I'm going to buy that car, or I'm going to buy this, and you never see in the very fine print where it says may be adjustable rate. This contract may be sold and may change to an adjustable rate, and that rate would be 19 to 39%. And you're like, oh, all you hear is that low number. That's what they tell you on these things.
So,
Fine print.
Yeah, the fine print.
yeah.
So the best
here
thing
in
to do
Europe-
is like you want this stuff, it's best to save it up. If you think you can afford that car payment at whatever it is per month, I challenge you to put that into a savings account. Okay? Every single month. And if you ever have a problem with making that payment to your own savings account, just think that saves you from your car being repossessed. How? Because you couldn't afford the car payment in the first place if you went on contract and bought it through and got a loan.
Exactly.
That, if you think, oh, I could do 5 years or 6 years or 3 years of these payments, I challenge you just to do that for a year and see if you can maintain putting that into your savings account. And if you can't, then guess what? You just saved yourself a lot of money and a lot of headache, because when they repossess that, they're not going to give you your money back.
Alright.
So if you can, do not buy anything on credit.
Okay.
Is this a common thing in the US, credit?
Yeah, it's a pretty common thing. A lot of that stuff's push. A lot of people are like, oh, well, we can finance you for X, Y, Z, and your payments will be like $100 or $200 a month for this. And it's like,
Because
what?
over here it's not, and people are really
Right.
like, if ever they do this financing thing,
Mhm.
they usually go like, well, I don't know, too much trouble. Just
Well, the
I
other
want
part to it
something
too
simple.
is they start looking at, oh, I've got to. Now you don't think of the interest rate being a lot, like, oh, it's 10% of this, or it's 17%, or whatever the interest rate is they're giving you, 5%. Think of it as that 5%, 10%, or whatever they're charging you for that credit. That's how much money you could save if you just look at the payment, and anything that you want to buy, like I say, on credit, better check yourself. Oh, $35 a month for this piece of furniture. Yeah, it's $500. Okay, but it's at 15%. Okay, look at what your payment's going to be and how long that payment's going to be. You'll have paid, however
Mhm.
much in interest. It's better just to, if you think you can afford it, then I challenge people, put that into your savings account. Make a payment to
Well,
your savings account
Yeah,
every single
but if it's
month.
5% and the inflation is 10%, I don't know. But but
Well, inflation doesn't have anything to do with your interest rate as far as being charged extra or anything. It does when the feds get a hold of it, or in the European market space too, where they need to slow down the purchasing power of the actual buyers, because if they get lower interest rates, okay, that encourages people to spend more money and basically overextending themselves. So when you overextend, then the Fed step in, or in the European global fiduciary, they step in and they introduce the inflation, or introduce higher interest rates to reduce the inflation. Because what that does is it curbs down. And so let's say you're buying a house, and I bought my house last year around August, and it was at 2.27% was the interest rate. Now the interest rates are as high as like 8%. All right. Inflation rate is at 8.2. The inflation rate has been slowing down, or the inflation has been slowing down by them adjusting the interest rate. So your interest rate, especially towards a house, for every single percent, you usually can tack on an extra $100 onto your house payment per month. So if you go from 2% to 8%, that's $600 extra per month. Okay. So that also means that the people that could have bought last year this house at X amount, they could have offered or counter offered a higher offer to somebody else because they were looking at it going, oh, I can afford $1,200 a month or $1,600 a month. I'm going to bid this at 30, 50, or 80 or 100,000 higher than what the asking price is. Now, you can't do that kind of stuff because that tax on. Now, you can't really do that type of stuff because it slows down the buyer's buying power. That's what inflation does, and the interest rate. The interest rate does that.
It also drives and also drives the local housing market crazy. Like my uncle is an appraiser, and he's had several situations where people would literally spend like well over $100,000 more than what the house is actually listed at, and that
Right.
just keeps driving up. Well, that just keeps driving up the housing market around here.
Well, here's the thing though that goes towards that under too is there's that does flush out the buyers. So meaning that there's less buyers out there. So what ends up happening is the market starts shifting to a buyer's market when those homes continue going up and up and up. You start seeing not a low inventory, but the inventory stays steady or it can increase. But however, what happens is, like I said, a house payment. So I bought the house at was at $295,000 last year. Payments were like 16, whatever. So if I would buy that same house, okay, now for the same price, the difference between the interest rate back then, 225, to now 8.2, which is almost 6%, that's $100 extra payment per month for each interest point. So that's 6 points. So my house payment wouldn't be $1,600, it would be $2,200 if I bought it today. That's where I'm getting to. That's what the interest rate being increased by the feds does. More people like, well, I can't afford that much house because I can't afford that kind of a payment, $2,200. I'd rather afford a $1,600 payment house. So what that means is that you're looking at homes that are in those lower price areas, which then drives that market down. Then when you get more sellers putting their houses up into the inventory in the housing market in different areas, or you have no real increase, it stays that steady amount. Then the adjusters, such as your uncle or appraiser, is doing, he has to come back to the market base. Like, are these home prices really going for at this time point at these higher interest rates? That does influence the housing market or the buying and selling of these homes. So it's not a bad thing when there's higher interest rates. It just cognitively people have to be aware of those things. And then so you had more buyers on the market when the interest rates, and by the way, during COVID, interest rates went to zero. And then, a year later, they're at 2.2%. And people are like, oh yeah, this is really great. So what was happening too is these interest rates being that low in the housing market, also too, the interest rates were really low on other types of credit too, that people were buying more things because they had better and higher purchasing power. Now they don't have as much purchasing power, meaning how much money comes out of their pocket every single month that they can afford to pay for these things, because the the inflation rate has gone up. So yeah, that's why the feds introduced the higher interest. Now really, to cut down on inflation period, we just need to stop printing money. And I saw this problem back in 2020. Oh, we're going to hand you a $600 check, and you a $600 check, and you a $600 check, and you a $1,200 check, and a $1,200 check here. Where the hell do you think that money's coming from? The taxpayer.
Yep.
Simple as that. Whenever the government gives out free money, it's not free. There's no such thing as free. Eventually, we'll have to pay. As it was when I was growing up, my grandfather was talking about, I'm sorry, Traven, but you're going to be paying for my taxes. Thanks.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going to do to my grandkids. Thanks. You're paying for all the taxes that they did during the politicians did while I was growing up. Thank you.
Well, I am kind of thinking maybe I'm kind of thinking maybe it's a little bit different. Well, in my understanding, up here in Canada, it's a little bit different, but I can kind of get at the same idea. Like,
Oh yeah.
paying, meaning the
The Canadians did
that's
the
actually
same thing with printing.
Yeah,
Yes, they do.
That's actually something that Dad's really worried about. Like all these extra crazy finances that his generation's going to be dumping on mine.
Yep. Oh, it's been happening for several generations, so it's not just our parents' fault or
welfare
grandparents' fault.
Yeah.
It's a classic
Oh,
case
yeah.
of the vested interest of making the policy for the welfare state is now for you, and we'll let the next generation worry about it when we're dead.
And income tax is actually a wealth distribution system.
Yeah.
Rob the rich, pay the poor. Exactly, that's what it is. But a lot of people have this idea and thought that, the rich need to pay more in taxes. Did you know that they already pay more in taxes than the poor class? They pay the same amount as middle class. They don't pay as much as income tax, but guess what? They pay a thing called capital gains tax. People are all looking at income tax. Yeah, they pay less income tax. Why? Because they're paid more in capital gains tax. When
But
you
it's
start
not
getting
fair,
to
but
a
it's not
point,
fair.
there's
You must see it's not fair.
yeah, it's not fair. We need to tax those rich. Oh my God, we got these
Dude.
multi-billionaires, man. They need to stop sucking up off of these American people and start paying their fair share in taxes.
I thought it
They
was just
do.
rappers that didn't pay their taxes.
There's a saying too. They say 10% pays more than 57% of all taxes in the United States. The top 10% here in the United States of income earners pay 57% of the taxes collected here in the United States. So the rich really need to pay more. What? No, the poor needs to pay more. The middle class is the one that gets dumped on. It's getting thinned out.
I would say the more appropriate thing is that we need to cut back and not let the politician empty-handedly print money willy-nilly. I would seem like the...
Oh, well, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, tax them more. In a roundabout way, okay? We have these programs that help out people that are poor. Now, I grew up dirt poor. I grew up in a single-wide trailer, guys, for almost 10 years. Then we moved to the double-wide. And then eventually it was the house. No kidding. By the time I was 15, we finally moved into a brick-and-mortar house. And all three of us kids had to sleep in the single-wide. We had to sleep in the same bed. The double-wide, at least my sister had her own bedroom. My brother and I had to share the same bed because it wasn't big enough. And then when we moved in the house, there was 3 bedrooms. So my sister got her own. And then my brother and I had to sleep in the same room, but not the same bed. And I had to wear his hand-me-downs, being the little brother. So I don't want to hear people say this white privilege, because I'm not all white either. I'm actually a third Hawaiian and 10% Chinese, but I'm very
I'll
light-skinned.
go like this American guy with his lack of social security and his racial issues.
No, I'm just like, all this crap of this white privilege. I find it being just crap.
It's
Really,
not a
it
big
is.
deal over here,
Yeah,
You
it isn't.
guys, I know you have a racial thing going on there. You do
There's-
you.
There's like 2 people
There's
that
the
have a
huge
problem.
divide. They have too much of a divide. The problem is it's focusing too much on the past. I'm sorry, but we were dealing with this stuff in the 70s and 80s, guys. And growing up, there was no issue. I grew up technically, basically in the ghetto of Fairbanks,
I
Alaska,
think
North Pole,
we were
Alaska.
dealing with this in the 1800s or something.
It's not a race class issue. It is an economic issue, economic class issue. That's what it is. Exactly what it is.
It's the distraction of property rights over civil liberties, as
Absolutely.
the slow crushing of the property rights have been going on for probably the past 100+ years.
Absolutely. It's an economic class. It's not a racial class here. And too many people are being swindled into being divisive and start looking at the race issue. Why? You know, we
Distracted.
didn't mention it growing up. There was an issue. You go to school and you can't afford the good clothes and you get laughed at, then talk to me. You know, nowadays kids don't have to worry about that because their parents, you got both parents working 2 jobs, so they at least have clothes on and the toys so people aren't laughing at them. Oh, you got an Android phone. I hear that stupidity bullshit. It doesn't matter. Like my Android S20 Ultra, yeah, it costs more than your fucking 14 Pro and it is a lot better technologically in most every way except for the processor. But I have double the amount of RAM in mine. And if
And they
anybody
skin
in
you with
IT
their LiDAR
knows,
system.
It would
Yeah,
have sounded
but
nice
see,
when
it's a social class thing. Yeah. You know, I see this on YouTube. It was kind of funny. I don't know how it started popping into my YouTube, but these things about people that won't date other people that have an Android. I'm like, you got to be shitting me for real. A phone is a phone.
Yeah.
Really.
it is
But
phone.
no,
I don't know.
iPhone is.
Yeah.
Now, all I got to say is Apple doesn't make money off me. I make money off Apple through the stock market. Simple as that. Like I told you guys, 2020, if you invested in Apple,
Mhm.
you would have made 38%. I made 178%. How did I do that? Actively trading it. Yeah, they don't make money off me. So, in any case, my whole thing is these people, you know, that want to put more importance into immaterial things or material things, excuse me, is immaterial, basically. It really is. You know, 2 parents now have to work. Back then, my mom didn't have to work. My dad made okay money, and then he started making really good money. And then
it gets played
that's when
off.
we moved into the house.
I was gonna say that's when it gets played off. It's like, oh, we need more women and representing the workforce and everything. It's like that was a job, you know, taking care of the house and the kids. That was a job. Like your job, that your retirement was your next generation. It's
Yep.
like,
And my dad would come home and he would rest for a little bit, but then he'd get up and he'd help mom out with certain things.
yeah,
You know, it wasn't this, you know, 1950s like outlandish looking at it like women were slaves back then. No, women would grow up with, you know, that ideal. I want to be wife. I want to be a mother, you know, and all that.
and that's a
Nowadays,
responsible thing in society to do.
right. So now you have these kids that are growing up, you know, basically latchkey kids, they
Yeah.
call them, or single parent homes.
They gotta
And
grind.
we're wondering what's going wrong with America. What's going wrong with America is exactly this, you know, being driven to greed and so forth. Me, I'm not driven by greed by my investments. I just don't want to retire and be a Walmart cashier, or
Yeah.
excuse me, Walmart greeter. A cashier, maybe, but not a greeter. Okay.
Reacher, we don't have
Right.
those.
Oh, boy.
I'll tell you this, guys. 9/11, September 11th, 2001. I was working and making 6 figures. 2 months after the towers came down, I lost my job because the company had to close out because most of the customers were based around the airlines, and the airlines crashed around then too. Technology crashed around then. I was struggling to stay in technology jobs, and I did pretty well, but I did not get a steady, stable job until 2008. That's 7 years of struggling, doing contract work, 1 month of contract here, waiting 1 or 2 months to get another contract, or I'd be lucky to get off a contract to have another one to go to. I didn't have consistent, you know, income and everything else. And by the way, I went from that 6-figure income to a mid 5-figure income. about $120,000 going down to $50,000 a year until 2008. Then it was like $70,000 a year. Okay, but during that time frame, I started up my own IT company. It started doing good and well, and started paying me back a small salary, a very small salary, like maybe $1,000 a month, after 3 years of hard work. But I spent my entire retirement savings of 180 grand funding this company, starting and funding it for 3 years. So all I'm saying is I lost my whole retirement. I was starting at scratch, zero in 2008. And by 2015, I didn't have even still enough. I only had about 20 grand. But now, after everything's been said and done since 2015, new job, new position, new company, and all that other stuff, making that six-figure income again, you know, I've been able to create a small amount of investment wealth that I can create and invest and be active in my investments to getting back to my retirement track. Because for me to really retire, I need at least 100 or what is it, 1.5 million for each 10 years.
Yep.
So that means if I retire, I will only have enough funds. And right now, I'm not even at that $1.5 million. The first one, I'm at $500,000. I need 3 times that much more, and I have 10 more years to make that. That's just for me to live off of my retirement for 10 years. That's not including Social Security. By the way, Social Security system is also becoming bankrupt.
Yeah, I'm never going to.
My financial planner tells me that there's a 60% chance that I will qualify, but there will be a 60% chance that I will be denied the first time and possibly the second time. And they'll try and push it off until I'm the age of 72 before they'll allow me to take it. And how's it happening? All these lifeless wonders that are getting and really just I want to say defrauding the Social Security system here in America. I mean, like these parents that they had their kids listed with all these acronyms at the end of their name, ADHD and all this other stuff, you know, and they're getting Social Security income from those kids. And the kids haven't even paid into the system. Or let alone some of those parents haven't even paid into the Social Security system. The Social Security system was not built by created by Franklin Delano Roosevelt to be handed out, and especially not handed out to illegal aliens, period, which that's been used to fund those programs. They don't take it and then hand it directly. They grab it and they put them into other programs that help out these people that are illegally crossing our borders. The other thing too, I know this is a very touchy subject, but every single one that illegally crosses the border trying to escape travesty, there is others that are trying to escape that same travesty, but they're doing it the right way. But when those illegal aliens come across, for each one, that takes that person that's on that list waiting to come to America legally, they have to wait longer.
Oh.
What's right? What's wrong? It's wrong to allow illegal aliens across our border. And this just since Biden's taken control, 2.5 million have crossed our border, which is sucking our social resources down, which we're all paying as taxpayers. That money is not free. I love when Biden and the rest of those yokels are like, it's free. No, guess what? You're now burdening our grandkids and our great-grandkids and saddling them with more debt. So yeah, land of the free and the brave, but you know, every country, hell, even Belgium. Tell me if I'm right or wrong there, Bullet. I mean, you have resident aliens, but if I come and I overstay my welcome, wouldn't I be ejected from your country?
Well, we have a new system, yeah.
Yeah, but I would still be ejected from your country and sent back to America.
Well, it depends.
Now you say that.
It depends. There's many reasons you can go here, but you do get cut off, you know, if you don't work. And if you're a good employee, I mean, we're happy.
Understandable.
And if you pay your taxes,
yes.
I mean, it's like 50% you have to give off. It's a lot, huh? If you're a good employee, you pay your taxes, we're happy. I mean, If you had a system like that in America, where you cut them off very short, and if they paid their taxes well and they worked very
Right.
hard, they would just it's a good system. Just you guys, you'll find your way, I think, in time, in due time.
Right.
We just don't have the political class with the willpower and to admit what they've done.
Yeah.
It's a balance,
Yeah.
you know. And the thing is, you can be well-hearted, like on all sides, but at the end, it's just you can't invent wealth. And Belgium is 80% people working. It's not like we don't pump up gas. We
Right.
don't do coal anymore. We have minimal steel production, but most of it's just people working. It's
Right.
IT
There's a working
guys and
class.
nurses and yeah.
Yeah,
The
and I
economy
understand
is pushed
there
by
are these differences in different countries. And so here's a thing that kind of goes towards this too, Bullet. And I appreciate and love to hear things about your country and others like Jim and I when we talk about Germany and stuff like that. People have to realize though is we try to say, oh well, America sucks because of this, or it's better because of this. But there's all these balances of things. Our taxes aren't the highest in the world. Um, but we don't have free college, we don't have free healthcare systems, and there should never be, because this is a capitalistic
you
society.
like
It's
Reddit
simple
so
as
much.
that.
People keep paying off their college debts.
Oh yeah. I mean, that's the thing. Like this newest thing that even Biden does not have the power to do is to pay off 10,000 of college debts per person.
Yeah, but
That
why
comes
is
from
it
the taxpayer.
10,000? I mean,
Uh,
it's a fuck.
Yeah, that's
You
barely
cannot.
scratch of anything. To tell you the truth.
Yeah.
I mean, the Pell Grant is $2,500, guys.
But
I
what
got the
the
Pell
heck are
Grant when I
you?
went to college.
Are you
You know,
feeding them gold or something in college?
well, yeah, you would think, but no, it's the bloated administration in these colleges. That's
It
really
makes
where it is.
There's free classes on the internet. You can get
Yeah. Or MIT
Yeah.
degree
puts a
for
lot of their
like
courses online, and you can just get that.
Yep, absolutely.
yeah.
And
I'm
I'm,
doing one
that's
at
the other
Stanford
thing.
right now.
That's the other problem with the interest rates, and when inflation goes up, it's like, okay, everything else, the price of everything's going up. So then, the colleges will then have to, increase too. Supply. It's not just administration, but they have needs too as well. Building material to extend student housing and various other things. So it can be expensive. But the thing is there are people that can make good money at trades. I've got a friend, I call him a dirt mover, but he's an operator. So big, heavy machinery and stuff like that. And hell, he makes like $20,000-$30,000 more than I do a year. And he says he's dumb as a box of rocks, and I tell him no, he's really smart. And I believe people that are smart in whatever they do. Just because I'm in IT doesn't make me smarter than anybody else by a
Yeah.
long shot.
I mean,
It
I believe I'm an idiot.
Yeah, I believe I'm
a
an idiot
smart
too.
idiot.
I believe I'm an idiot too, but I know my shit about IT.
I
So
can't even
at
enter a
least in
trade
my
right.
area. Yeah, exactly. But a trade, you don't have to go to school. In many cases, you get an apprenticeship, a paid apprenticeship. So you go and you immediately start working as a welder, as an apprentice welder, and you go through these classes and everything else, and then you finally get your first few real jobs, and you start making that $20 and $30 an hour, which
Uh-huh.
it's a shame that burger flippers are starting to get $15 an hour, and somebody that went through a trade school is getting $20 an hour.
Well,
Let's see. I put the spatula under and I flip it over. I throw the fries in the fryer. I hand it to the customer.
have you
These
never seen one
jobs
of
are
those
not.
McDonald's training videos?
Yeah,
don't
but
stick-
I'm just
you
saying
don't
there's.
stick your- you don't stick your face in and
Yeah, in the
That
fry
grease
oil.
is hot. It's
Yeah.
very hot. Do not touch the grease.
All I'm
I
just
worked
saying
at
is
Actually,
those jobs are not meant for careers. I did those jobs when I was going in college, and I knew
I
that these
actually
were not what I
re-enlisted
wanted to
college
do for the
2
rest of my
weeks ago.
life. What's that?
I actually re-enlisted for college 2 weeks ago.
Oh,
What do you
there
do?
go.
And yeah, so I was filling out the form,
Mhm.
and it said there, do you want to pay it, or does your company want to pay it? And it was like,
Mhm.
yep, my company, because I recently also started a company. And
Mhm.
then there it said, so your company can pay it, so they don't have to pay taxes.
Mhm.
Plus, here is a way to get subsidized for it.
Oh, nice. Yeah. There you go.
And so I was like, what? But here, I
Right.
mean, I don't know how it is over there, but you have a company, right, Traven?
Yes, I actually have two, and then I have my
Okay,
own career. Yep.
okay. So, when you receive money, in the company, is it taxed already?
Yeah, it's taxed already. Before I
Okay,
pay myself
so
out, yeah.
okay. Well, no, yeah, of course. If you pay yourself out, there's a
Mhm.
part on the company side that you when you pay yourself out here, and there's a part of the on the well, the other side that you also have to tax, and in total it's about 50% if you pay yourself
Mhm.
out.
Right.
But if you don't, I mean, basically it costs twice as much to spend it with your own money here.
Yep. Well, see, that's where I was going to go to is you say 50% income tax there when, our highest income tax is like 35% or something like that. Um, all I got to say is inflation is the poor man's tax. It really is. That's what inflation is.
Hmm.
It's poor man's tax. Um, but, you know, that gives you I would say, even though we don't have that free healthcare, we don't have free college, it gives you that ability to say, you know, um, do I pay more for college, or do I not go to college and I go to trade school, or I just graduate high school and I try to do the best I can, kind of thing. Um, so there's not this kind of like, you make X amount, it's 50% no matter what you make. But you got all these programs and access to these programs. Not saying they're all free for these countries, but a lot of people here in the States that I hear is like, well, why can't we be like Canada? They got free healthcare. Okay, let's take a step back. How much are they being taxed in income tax versus how much we're getting taxed here in income tax? Everybody pays in Canada for that healthcare system. It's not free. Eventually, you pay for it, no matter what, through taxes, or you pay through it from your own pocketbook. Here in the United States, you're paying from the pocketbook. You don't want to eat healthy. You don't want to be healthy. Not saying that there are some people that can't help their health situations. I'm just saying for those people that are relatively healthy, and you know, rest of the world. I'm going to put it out there this way. Rest of the world, I'm sure, looks at a lot of Americans as being fat. There is a huge health problem with being obese here in America,
Oh, well,
and
that
it's just
problem
due to the
also extends
types.
to most first world countries, anyways.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. So it's not. I was going to say it's not just America, but there is a lot of obesity here in the United States. But there isn't a lot of encouragement nowadays for these types of programs for different types of health, preventative health things, such as like simple like yoga classes that could be. Um, I don't want to say subsidized or anything like that, but could be lower costs or could be subsidized by the government, I think, for what we do, for what the government spends the money on. I mean, look at this new inflation bill. It's not reducing any inflation, period. It's just the government wasting money again. I mean, what could you put $265 million into? I know there's more to the bill, and they're giving more to it. But what can they do right now um, that that really will help the American
Well, what
taxpayer
you can do
with
is you
inflation?
can have 7 parliaments.
Mm. Oh, true, very true. And some of them don't
Seven,
even
you
speak
say?
the same language. No, actually, they do. Isn't German like the common one, right? Or is it
No, there's
Dutch?
no German. It's French and Dutch.
Oh, French and Dutch. Yes. Okay, I was wondering what the common ones were, but out of the seven
Oh.
parliaments.
That's right, 6,000
Oh,
holes.
now I get it. Now I get it. Well, I didn't get it for a second, but now I get it. The EU, the seven
Yes.
parliaments through EU.
No,
Yeah.
no, no, no.
No,
It's
no.
it's not the EU. It's Belgium.
Yes, Belgium
So
has seven parliaments.
yeah.
What?
So
And they don't
we
all
have,
speak. Well,
yeah.
you got French, but there's a common language they speak too, and then there's
Yeah.
Dutch and German. So
Yeah. Okay. So
God,
Belgium
I
is
forgot
like,
about that. I forgot about that.
yeah. It's a country which is 50-50% north south, two languages stuck together, and then there is a capital, and then they decided that the two languages, the two parts get their own jurisdiction. Capital gets their own jurisdiction. There's a federal government, and then the language zones, which are not synonymous to those parts, which are a very small part of German, French, and Dutch, also get their own autonomy. So that's three,
Yep.
three, and one. And I'm not counting the European with this, okay?
mm, yeah,
Right.
yeah. So again, it's every system of government is complicated, regardless.
Mm.
And that's my whole point. Is one way or the other, you're paying that certain amount. To the United States taxpayer, highest might be 35%, but that's income tax. That's not capital gains tax. Capital gains tax is like the top is 40%. Does that mean that everybody pays 40%? No, it's broken down in different brackets. If you make less than $287,000 in capital gains, you pay only 20%. So here's the gist of this. Okay, so if I make under 287,000 in capital gains tax or capital gains, I pay 20%. Now, I'm around about the $150,000 tax bracket, or 150,000 per year, excuse me, but I'm being taxed roughly right around about 31%. So if I become an entrepreneur and I make just a little bit more money, even in the right now, I think it's under $190,000 a year as an entrepreneur paying capital gains tax. I'd only be paying 15%, not having to pay 31%, but 15%. So that's 15% I would save just becoming an entrepreneur. So, but you're still paying your fair share. But being an entrepreneur now that's this capital gains. But what about the business? The business gets taxed in itself too. So that's money that's being taken away from that whole.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm saying that even the rich people or the super wealthy people pay more than their fair share. So, like even Elon Musk. So, he's estimated worth is based upon the stock that he holds. Then, when he sells that stock, he pays his taxes. Simple as that. So that's why he paid, it was $11.5 billion in taxes last year.
Yeah. So, do you have solar panels there in the US? Yeah, probably do, right?
Not everywhere, but yeah,
Depends on where you
there's
go.
there's a big push, but
Like
so
out in the middle of
places
nowhere,
like
you might just like suddenly
Yeah.
find some just like hanging around, and maybe some on
Yeah.
houses,
Okay,
but
so
it's
the,
not
the
really
big
practical
push
and everywhere.
already passed here, right? So yeah, everybody has them, and this summer we had almost break. Well, we had break even. We even had some. We didn't have to pay anything for electricity, but since there's value added tax and you're a producer of something, they tax it. So if you produce electricity on your roof, you get taxed for that.
Right.
And luckily, we still have an old electricity meter. So at some point, they wanted to replace those with digital ones
hmm
to have a reduced efficiency, because when the sun shines, it shines for everybody, and there's basically the real cost of electricity becomes negative,
Mhm.
but they don't charge like that. So, but
Right.
basically, we still have them, and so with an analog meter, we can just put in all the electricity and get all the electricity back out. It's crazy.
Gotcha.
Interesting.
Ah, yeah. And if you have a well in your house,
We've
they
got
also
one.
tax that.
Wait. In Belgium, they tax that?
Yeah, if you have a freshwater well,
Wow.
they will put a meter on that as well.
You can't just like, that's silly. That's silly. That's silly. I'm just gonna say that's
Because
silly.
it's production. Everything production gets taxed.
That's silly.
Yeah.
That's that corruption of property rights right there.
No, because you're producing stuff, even if it's for yourself.
Doesn't matter.
Hey, there's
That's
wait a
property
second,
rights.
Giga. There is some states that are like that too here in
Oh,
the United States, by the way.
It doesn't matter. It's still silly.
It's like, I'm going to smoke all
They
this
say
tobacco. No.
you don't own the rain. You don't own the
Oh
rain.
yeah, California's
It's
like that.
Yeah, exactly. California is the
You
biggest.
literally cannot.
I would
be
never.
an owner
I
of
would never
anything.
live in that. I would never live in California. Sorry, taxed for everything.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't
I
live
thought you were
there
gonna
either
say
because you
with
can
well,
get cancer from a lot of things.
yeah,
Yeah.
and I thought
Have you ever seen those warnings on electronics?
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
yeah.
This might have
On
something that can cause
basically
cancer in it.
everything. Basically everything that's fun and has that warning.
But
Mm.
it's
that you're
funny
gonna get
to
cancer
read
from
here in Europe. It's like, and it says on the box, in California you can get
Yeah.
cancer from this. Poof. Touch
Only
the
there.
bullet there.
Just there. Just nowhere else. Just there.
There should be a warning bumper sticker, on California, period, that just says, warning, moving to California, you may experience high taxes, cancer rate increases, higher
Well-
property tax, idiotic laws.
Yeah. Well, at first I was kind of thinking you weren't gonna move there because it's basically a desert there.
No,
Well,
not all of it.
Only like the
Yeah, not all.
Well,
chunks that matter.
that's kind of the mentality that I had about Cali for a long time because
Hey,
when they were saying that they had a drought, of course they have a drought because they built their cities in a desert.
Yeah.
The main valleys are well temperatured. That's the reason why people go there. And it's because they're like nice temperature. They don't get a whole lot of rain. All their waters come from the northern mountains of the state.
And Oregon and
Yeah,
Washington
they get imported.
selling them water. Yep.
They get only rain a couple times a year, but like when your weather is perfect year round, it's like how can you complain? You get a little rain on you like twice a year tops or something, and then you have to deal with a bunch
Yeah.
of forest fires because they don't allow brake lines.
Yeah. Hopefully you don't save this stream.
I mean, YouTube will.
YouTube will, yeah, well, make sure it gets deleted. Yeah. We're talking about some political and geopolitical stuff that's
I'll never get caught.
very controversial.
Not really.
Yeah, right. They'll
this is fairly topical
demonetize your
news.
stream and
What? 5 years after after do this every day, all year.
dude,
and-
they've done it though to some of those. They have done it to some. It was like, you gotta be kidding me. That like came out like 5-6 years ago, and now they removed it because of community guidelines, the new ones. You gotta be kidding me. Somebody reported it because it's not PC. It was PC back 5 years ago, but it's not PC
I
now.
remember when PC was like a big issue. Like I think most people just kind of ignore it now.
Yeah, just like hopefully we can ignore the stupid issues, the other ones now, around.
It's gonna come
Some
back down
other
to
things.
property
I
rights.
get really annoyed by your PC guys. There is a lot of music that gets brought out in Europe which is non-censored, like
Yep.
Snoop Dogg and all those. And then I hear
yeah.
the version that you guys put on the radio, and it's horrible.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
We don't get to choose it, you know.
Yeah.
Up here where I am in Canada, like southwestern Ontario, the radio is just bad. Every station, like, hey, every like hit song, like, hey, every hit song, it's always on like repeat, sometimes even multiple times a day.
Mhm.
Here,
Mm.
and
Yeah.
my dad kind of goes on a tirade every now and again, and 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 because like
It's justified.
he knows, yeah, he knows
Yeah.
a
It
ton.
is.
Well, he knows a bunch of bands, and there's only a couple of songs that he heard. Well, well, there's a couple of songs that he knows of that they that they play on the radio, and only those few. But he has albums from way back when, and well, he has albums from these old bands from way back when they well, and he can name songs that are even better than the stuff that they play on repeat on the radio.
But
Yeah.
wait, aren't those radio stations, if I know Canadian radio stations, kind of pushing their own stuff a little bit much?
Yes,
Are they also
yes,
subsidized by the
they
government?
You go like
Mm.
there's a couple
yes.
of radio stations here, government run, that are like that as well, and you go like, there's no reason. This is not in the top 10, but I've heard it 3 times already today.
Yeah.
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 Well, in the U.S., though, it's not a matter of government run. It's like that's such a small sliver. But, we're talking about privatization, and then the privatization, being woke. That's
But
the
you
new
guys
term
have
for
church
PC,
radios.
being woke.
What's up with that?
What the heck
What's
does
that?
PC stand? What the heck?
You guys have church
Politically
radio
correct.
stations. What's up with
Politically
that?
correct. I just find that this newer stuff that's coming out and this generation is, they get butthurt on all the just stupid stuff as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm an older gentleman, but I love and I appreciate people of different cultures, race. I grew up that way. My mom always said, "Don't ever be prejudiced because, you're a minority too." Because I'm not 100% white. I get people like, "Oh, you look white, so you're just white."
Beast.
No, I'm actually 30% Hawaiian and 10% Chinese. So that's like, then there's
It-
even 1% Vietnamese in me. I
Yeah,
I
think
took the
that
DNA
every-
test to find out how much Hawaiian I had in me. And then I
Yeah.
come to find out I had a suspicion on the Chinese because I had a great great grandmother that was half Chinese and half Hawaiian. So,
Yeah, that's the kind of ignorance that just drives me up the wall sometimes.
right. People look at color of skin, and you got to stop looking at color of skin and start valuing people for their integrity and who they are and
Almost
the
like
person
their-
that they are.
Would you say their
That's what
character?
I always do. And I've always had, well, I've always valued having seen friends who are of like not just different race, but that also have like different life backgrounds, different and,
Yep.
and outlooks on life, different careers.
Right.
Well, it just gives me a wider outlook from
Right.
everybody else's perspective, instead of just
Right.
instead of trying to find something new from someone who's exactly like me.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. So we're all different, and I appreciate that. I honor people's traditions and ideas, and their beliefs and what they grew up with. And I just ask that other people do the same for me as well. That they don't just presume anything. The other thing too is I really kind of do believe in this, that there are unbiased conscience. There are people that would probably, and I got this from one of our company's training thing, that they have these pictures of different folks that are obviously not just white, but they're non-white as well. But they would ask, which one of these do you think is more qualified for this job, kind of thing, right? And of course, they're trying to steer you away from these unconscious bias. But you answer in the way that you answer, and that can help you identify that maybe there's an unconscious bias that you had. There are some people that I've ran into that think all Oriental people are really good with math. Well, I'm sorry, there aren't. Not all of them.
Yeah.
And that's a presumption. That's an unconscious bias. But is that a prejudice? Not necessarily so. It's just people's beliefs that maybe they've been brought up to assume. So, people just need to, value a person for their character, their beliefs. And, obviously, I don't hang around people that don't have the same characters, beliefs, and ideas. So that doesn't mean that my whole realm and world is just, people that are non-white. I have friends that are non-white and speak different languages, and I speak two languages, one fluent English, and then Hawaiian, a bit there, but not 100% fluent. I speak a little bit of Spanish, but I speak very little slivers of other languages, more so just pleasantries like, Korean, 안녕하세요, even Norwegian, Hvordan har du det? And I learned these things by people that I interact with and the people that I appreciate, and I appreciate those other cultures and want to learn those things from different people. What makes them tick, and what's it like where and how they grew up, whether it was here in the States, outside the States, or in a different state of the United States. So there's just too many of us out here, that there's not one fit mold. Oh, you're white, so you're an oppressor. Oh, you're not white, so you've been oppressed. It doesn't fit into molds like that. It really doesn't. But they're trying to do things like that here that just kind of just gnaws at my own integrity and conscience, thinking that people are like that.
Like
and it's not plain black and white or gray. So
my upbringing, in this area, there was a lot of Koreans because there was a Kia plant, and then a bunch of other everything. It's because we're in Georgia, you already have a pretty strong white black mix to begin with, and this area is also because it's south of Atlanta, also has a just everything else piled down here growing up. So the stereotype utopic vision of blending essentially is what I kind of grew up with, and it was just all kind of natural. It was just how it occurred.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Everything under the sun, just about, at least in some capacity, was available.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody's going to be biased. There's no way around it. You can even see this in artificial intelligence, which
it's always
also
funny when
showing,
when you see
also
those in
showing
the crime
biases.
rates and stuff. Yeah, it has to. That's how it's built.
Yeah.
It has to have
saw that.
biases.
Yeah, just the data you expose it to determines the variation it has, and
That's only have
Yeah.
one kind of data.
I don't think you're diverse enough. Go meet with 1,000 people and come back to me. And if you're still over or
Yep,
under 50
exactly.
big data,
I would challenge somebody to do that, and then I would also ask that they would find, 10 things that they love about that each culture and person they experience, but then also find 10 things that they didn't like about it.
I like Romanians. They're very smart,
Yep.
but I don't like when I drink with Romanians.
Why is
because
that?
they're very aggressive with alcohol.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. Know what you're talking about there, man.
Yeah, it's been an experience. Okay, I'm gonna take off. Hope to see you guys at some point in the future. And
Oh, yeah.
good night.
Yeah, good night there, Bullet.
Evening. Oh.
For him, it's night.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to turn into. We
Turn
got
into
a pretty.
pumpkin? Cinderella? What are you turning into, man?
My dad does that joke all the time too.
Well, you're the one that said turn in. You just say, hey, it's my time to just
Exit.
shut nighty night. I don't know.
A nighty night.
Good night, folks. Yeah, exactly.
I gotta get some sleep because
Gotcha.
my family and I were gonna be flying out to Alberta tomorrow to see my brother.
Oh, nice. Oh, enjoy that, man.
Nice. So, well, I'm
Yeah.
gonna be out for the week, so I'm not gonna be, probably not gonna kind of talk to you until next Wednesday.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you take care, though.
You guys too.
And thus the cookie crumbles.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, I was just like hanging out here, just playing, and I'm still not to the point where I want it to be before I turned off. But I fortunately get remote the rest of the week because the
Right.
internet at the office is wacky for some reason.
Oh, well, that's a good thing then.
All the work I'm currently doing, I could all be doing it remote, but they're like, oh, we'll want you in the office in case we want you to do things in the shop. Oh man, I'm like,
What shop do you work at?
so I'm an automation engineer now. So I'm on the software side, but they want me to do some the hardware, putting it together stuff at some point in the future.
All right.
Mm.
Hey, my brother told me, well, my other brother, who lives here in Ontario, he he told me that down in Texas at the at the Peterbilt plant, they actually have well, the engineers actually have bodyguards and security there because because they're scared of mechanics going to the Peterbilt plant to beat up the engineers.
Wow. That's something.
Yeah, it tells you something about their design. Well, about how the engineers' designs.
Right.
Well, I'm gonna go brush my teeth and go to bed.
Something,
like I said.
something was stinking, but I didn't want to say it. I'm sorry, but I have to say it now. So thanks for taking care of that.
All right,
Later.
bye guys.
Have a good night.
You too.
You think I threw him off with that last one?
I don't know. He always seems like he's being thrown off.
Yeah, yeah.
Like the perpetual state of like getting tossed around.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, definitely so, man.
What the? All right, I might be making too much copper wire right now. I need to take some of this copper cable for myself because. Wait, am I? What the heck am I taking out of this thing? Yes, I need to do one of these. I need the copper cable to get the copper cable. I need another thing that makes copper cable is what I need.
Mm.
Are you actually watching right now?
Oh, a little bit. It's just off the screen there. Like I say, I actually jumped in PlanetSide to see if any of my settings have been screwed with. Seems like every time they make some major updates, ends up doing that. So just going back through here on that.
Did you see the new tank stuff they're trying to do?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was kind of curious to that too. So right now I'm at one of the warp gates, but I'm just going through my infantry and my aircraft
I don't know if
setups.
they launched the tank stuff in the live yet. I think it's still on the test server.
Mm-hmm.
But I kind of like what they got with the NC weapon. It's basically just like a giant bulldog for the main cannon.
Mm. Right.
All right, need more copper wire cable production. Oh no, something's wrong. Oh yeah, I figure out what's wrong.
Oh no.
I put it into the wrong spot.
Hmm.
You seen this?
Oh yeah, let me take a look. Sorry. Like I say, I was looking at vehicles and my excuse me, my option key setup.
This copper cable's not supposed to go here. That's supposed to go over there. Neat. Alright. Get rid of that. I need one of these here. I don't know if that goes anywhere. That might. Nope.
Mm.
What do you mean can't?
Yeah, get that stuff organized, man.
Too steep? What do you mean it's too steep? I literally built this thing earlier. What? No, you're being silly. You're being silly. You're being silly. This thing's being silly. You see this? You see this nonsense?
Oh, remember you're on a delay too, so
It's not too steep. It's not too steep. I literally had this thing built here just moments ago. You believe that? You believe this game is being silly right now? I just realized Neat. I just done goofed up my entire pipeline of my things I was getting done. I goofed. Big old goof there. Alright, I need to do a number 0. I need rotors apparently for number 0. Let me come over here. Click on this thing. I'll get that back.
huh.
Oh, this got changed.
All tapped out of game, but now I have no. I can hear it when I get back into the game, but I can't seem to like, you know.
What are those things called? Wire. Automated wiring.
Something's going on with my video on that.
Shoot. That's not what I want to do. No. I needed a merger. What? Why does the merger always go in the wackiest direction? This stuff gets complicated quick. What do you mean
Right.
it's too steep? What do you mean it's too steep? It's not too steep, but it's not. I promise you it's not. It will do that way. Might as well just have a stroke, you know. Just
Mhm.
I think it said center. It wasn't too steep 2 seconds ago. It wasn't too steep 2 seconds ago. You can't understand how much of a stroke I'm having right now. It was working just fine. But it's not too steep. I promise you. This is stupid. This is so stupid. There's a weird curve.
I don't know. Maybe gotta try a different angle or something.
No, it's just being stupid. Like I can very much confirm it as being stupid.
I gotcha. Having never seen the game till now, I'm gonna take you at your word.
Is this thing still waiting on cable? Oh, I don't. The last thing I need is a little mini stroke at 9:30. I get it. So, what do you know about ladder diagram and ladder logic?
Don't know much of any of that stuff. What exactly are you talking about? in game or in life.
Yeah, that's just a work material. So there's this. So like, the PLCs that were basically had these proprietary coding languages that are built out of C and assembly. Just so this way people want to be taught assembly or C. But ladder logic is basically like assembling, uses all the same, very almost identical naming conventions, the same ideas of like moving things around in memories and registers and everything.
Huh.
Oh shoot, I didn't actually finish the thing over here. Darn. Yes.
I think you were concentrating too much on trying to get the right angle on that thing.
Yeah, I was having a stroke, and that is slowing me down. Oh well, it's one of those like in time kind of things. Like the time I'm gonna get it isn't gonna really be any faster or slower than if I had just like waited there and let it back up or not. Because you can see in that top right hand corner how many more of those things I need for each of the stuff. Oh, you should hang around because I'll probably finish that here in a little bit, and you can watch it do the cool thing it does. It does a cool thing. It shouldn't take another maybe 30 minutes tops.
Right.
If I can get this copper cable figured out and everything, because I'm obviously splitting it when I probably don't need to be. I thought these things would be hard to make, but nope. I can make them real easily because this stuff I just have so much of. You know what? I could use more of it because I'm going to go ahead and start replacing them. The Mark II poles. There we go. That's right. Just to kind of give myself something to do. Make these big fancy poles, put them everywhere. But yeah, so what did you do to turn your trading around?
I didn't really turn it around per se versus just I stopped the bleeding. How was that? The whole thing with it was just mainly pulling out of the market space, and something I kind of learned from BBS, which was just the cash is a position as well. Especially to really stop your bleeding. Because like I've worked and did enough with this that I don't want to lose more, even when you have not really second guessing, but you see so much of the flow just being, how should we say, not being consistent and not enough, as far as sorry, I'm just checking out my buttons now. In the market, just being too much chop on a lot of days, and in those days where you used to think like, oh, okay, well, you see this kind of normal pattern set up, but it's not holding as long. It's like shifting quite a bit. That kind of makes me look at, what are these market makers doing? And learning a bit more on how they're protecting their positions, so, just stuff like that.
You need cable to use cable. Funny how that works.
Oh no.
Dang.
Oh no, they're taking Tarwich Tower.
So stupid. Look at this stupid thing. Why does it gotta be stupid? I must have hit some kind of like invalid angle of some kind. What do you still need? You still need more cable?
Well, I think that's what I mentioned before. Maybe it's the angle.
Well, that's the thing. It's like I had it there built just fine, no problems,
Hmm.
and then I added these mergers in, and they're probably causing me my issues. But it's like,
Right.
how, how is it causing issues? Doesn't make sense. Is it like hitting the spline piece that you can't see, just like slightly in a weird way, causing it to get this weird like invalid angle, even though it probably is actually okay, but it's just hitting a weird number in a weird way.
Hmm.
Technology, am I right? I don't even know what's this whole thing is doing anymore. It's just like I just kind of just threw it down. I was like, I don't want to organize. I just want to get it done with. And then basically everything after I get it done. Because all right, so oh yeah, I was gonna make the better copper cable line because I needed more constructors. I can't build anymore because I just gave them all the cable over here. The one thing I was trying to do, the one thing I kept trying to get was this, and I just kept getting like pulled in other directions.
Well, maybe you need to use all that copper.
Yeah, I'm getting a lot
I
of
don't know. Just a thought.
just like silliest thing over here. I have a lot of copper wire just being sent to the storage, and it's used for stuff, but still, like, clearly like cables, you can get to the point where you have a bunch of cables and you like never burn through them, so you don't think about burning more cables.
Right.
But this whole pipeline is moving so smoothly. There's actually a bit of a repeating algorithm here. If you noticed, it's 2 plates, several wire, a cable, 2 more plates.
Hmm.
All right, I can build another constructor that can build me more cable.
Yeah.
So you're gonna get deleted, and then we're gonna delete that. Then we're gonna build 2 constructors here. Gonna have to rethink that. Placement's a little terrible. Yes, that will be a little better. All right, now I'm gonna need to go from here. Not have a stroke. I can do this. I need a splitter. There we go. Almost died on that one. Just about had a end of time.
Oh yeah.
All right, you go here. You go here, and you go there. Don't worry about the overlap. It's a little bit diagramming. It happens. Now I need a splitter here. Take this. Go here. Get into that. This goes here. And then that goes there. And you make cable. There. And you make cable. There. And they need... I don't even know where my electricity is over here. I guess it's this guy. I guess you do it. Whoever Jimbo is, Alright.
Oh yeah.
Significantly more cable coming up. Because apparently that's what this thing was missing, was cable. Because apparently this thing here just rents these out, these statenators. Stator? Whatever. It's like, takes so many of them, just like, yeah. It's getting late. Brain is starting to... Also, with my trading, I haven't, like, on the trading side, I haven't really, like, been able to put the time and effort into it that I want to.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't really have the capital to either.
Right. I mean, one thing that I probably would recommend is just, try to play that kind of paper trading for a little bit. I mean, it is giving more recent stuff, June, July, August, that kind of thing. and really just kind of play some ideas there, and then see which way you want to go. You know,
Yeah. At this,
cash count or not, just depends.
all I've been doing lately is just like picking up 1 or 2 of the mod plays, and I just like, I'm not getting anywhere on those. I'm not getting anywhere on the flow plays. None of those are turning out at all because everything's getting destroyed.
Yeah, the last one I saw was September 20th, and that was today. I mean, I looked at it today on that flow play, so I didn't see them really doing or getting a lot of those flow plays
Yeah.
on there.
Well, a lot of the flow plays were like late October and then into November and December. So I'm holding some of those. I'm hoping maybe they'll turn around.
Right.
But it's like, all right, what's gonna happen here is who's gonna bin first. Are these guys gonna just exit and leave me bag holding again?
Right.
Am I getting rods anywhere? Thought I was getting some rods out. I don't even know where the rods are being made. Someone's got to be. Man, this thing just prints out copper wire. Actually, well, it's not copper wire. It's cadmium wire pretending to be its copper wire.
Right.
Man, that's the way to go. I should have been doing that this whole time instead of like, I wanted to test out this thing, using just iron to make wire. Definitely should have just gone with the cadmium. That was way, way better. You don't. What do you make? Somebody makes rods around here? Who's making rods?
Yeah, to be honest, I couldn't tell you.
Yeah. When I was talking to that one guy, Andrew was his name, he was telling me that he just like had to start getting to the point where he just put everything in diagrams just to keep pace with everything. Okay,
Right.
well nothing's making rods, so that's good to know. I guess this whole pipeline never needed rods at any point because I just don't have any being made. I don't particularly need them, but it's one of those like raw resources that you use a lot. So like I got just someone hanging over from the last time I got things produced. This is a fun game to pick up if you, really want to mentally challenge yourself constantly.
No, yeah. Well, Rust does that too as well for me. I mean, it's pretty complex.
There's no survival piece to any of this. What is this? What is this? Oh, it's that thing underneath. Oh man, we're getting close. Trying to figure out what's slowing down over here. You slowing down? Let's give you a bunch of those. Give you all of that too. Might as well. Give you all these because apparently I had 15 of these things just sitting in my inventory. Probably didn't need.
Stick.
I guess earlier it ended up putting them in there because I had destroyed the conveyors.
Oh yeah.
When you destroy the carriers, it just puts it right into your inventory. I guess I can go make some more bullets because that's a thing. At some point I need to make more of these obelisk here. Which means we need more black powder, which means I need sulfur and coal, which I have a ton of if I take this tube right here.
Hey, real quick, do EMP take out router pads?
No.
Can't remember.
No.
Yeah, so I was just planning on melee in it.
You're actually better
Or
off shooting
shoot.
it. Shooting it's way better because melee takes forever to kill it.
Yeah, I have an emissary too, and
Yeah, I'll do it.
they've got one in here, so I know where it's at. was able to sneak up to it, and I was right on top of it. But I think that's how the guy saw me. I wasn't crouch. I was trying to crouch, but he popped up real fast. As soon as I dropped, he like popped up and out, saw me and shot me, and I was cloaked. So obviously, you know.
Huh. I guess I could speed up my coal production a little bit.
Mhm.
Because to make black powder, you need to have at least, Oh wait, I have a ton of coal sitting over at my base. Like, I don't...
Mhm.
I got this neat tube system. That's gonna be my picture for my next thumbnail. There we go. Actually, I don't even know where those pictures are even saved. But other than everything else, life been going okay, I guess.
For you? Yep. Me? Yep. Can't complain too much, you know.
So what's the next goal? Is it just your rental stuff?
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at that. Kind of just, you know, trying to take precautions and just want to have more information. I'm not trying to overanalyze. I'm just trying to, you know, make sure that, you know, that's the appropriate path that I want to go. Because I really can't see like long-term rentals at this time and point. So,
Do the short term, basically like, condo style,
yeah,
timeshare. Well, like make it like, you could start a timeshare, I guess.
yeah, yeah. I mean, not like really a timeshare. I mean, Airbnb kind of blew that whole timeshare market up. So that's why a lot of people, you know, being stuck in that thing. It's like you only pay for what you need, you know, and instead of having, you know, as low as $1,200 a year for to have a place that you can go to for like 3 to 5 days, like in Hawaii, you know, like that does, you know, kill that market space. So
I can imagine.
for, you know, the timeshare market.
I could have a machine do this, but I got the other things being automated. I might as well just hang out, do this. But yeah, I haven't taken a green trade in a while.
Yeah. At the beginning of September here, you know, I was up like $4,600. So, you know, a little 40, 50, couple $100 kind of negative trades. So, I mean, last 5 trades, I've had 2 green, so not too bad. You know, last 10 trades, probably what, 4 green. So I've been just, you know, playing it more, sitting on my hands than anything else. So,
Fair enough. Make one.
again, I want to be sure, when I do the trade that I'm not going to be, entering it red.
Yeah.
'Cause there's just a lot of just chop reversal that just been happening, and
Oh yeah.
a lot of consolidation times. And it's like, unless you're really on the right side of it, there's been a couple of them that I wanted to take, like last week, Friday, near the end of the Friday trading, I was looking at the 350 put on SPY. Now, at that time, I think there was like 5 to 7 cents. Then come Monday morning, when you had a nice big downplay there, I could have been up, a 3 and a 5x possibly. But I'm just getting to the point where I'm not trying to carry any trades and swinging any trades. Just, it's not making sense for me. So,
Yeah.
but there, and you know what? I really, I don't want to say it's shaking my confidence. It's just that I'm taking less swing trades and just trying to do some more scalp plays. But the scalp plays just have not been turning out too well. They're turning out okay, but just not as well as I want.
Yeah, I don't even have time to do that really. It's just like everything at work just like gets you right at the one time, and the next thing you know, you're just sitting there with a trade in your hands and you can't do anything to it.
Yeah, you become an investor at that point in time versus really you know, a money mover. You're just sitting there waiting.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's better to just buy some comments at this point in time and then wait for the market to correct, and then not take your whole account to buy comments, but buy some comments here and there, and at least get some gains when that turns back around.
Slowly but surely, it's getting there.
Yeah. Analysis of paralysis or paralysis of analysis, one of those things.
Yeah.
Kind of that did happen for about a month and a half, because I was just like, man, I enter these trades and then it just immediately turns back against me,
Yeah.
and not just like a bear or bull. I try to play both sides, but you're in a bear market and you do some, and it's like, oh, this put looks really good. There's some good flow in it.
Yep.
I've seen a couple of sweeps, but yeah, there was a block. Let me enter it, and then it just goes against me, and I'm like, fuck, man. Like, and usually I have a pretty good tolerance, 10 or 20%. Once I'm down 20%, I'm like, I'm out of this, man. I'm just not gonna, take that more than a loss, because there's been too many times where I've held, past that 10, 20%, and then it turns into 50%, and I'm like, fuck it, I'm out of it, man. And then maybe a day or two later, it corrects enough to get my money out of it. If I would have stayed in it, just would have
Yeah.
got my money out. So I'd rather have taken the loss at that point in time, so I could try to move on to something else and use that money elsewhere. So
It's constant. This is constant battle.
yeah, it definitely is. The Bulls don't want to let the Bears win, and the Bears are like, hey, we're making money in this market no matter what. So I've thought about doing some swing trades with some long positions, but then some of those have just been getting torn down as well with the bull rallies and whatnot. So
Yeah.
it just really has not been helpful.
I don't even like to look at the long-term accounts. They just are all disastrous. It might take years
Yeah.
to get those recovered.
Yep.
Man, I wonder which one is going to win first in my phase 2 completion. Will it be the frames or the wiring? It's quite the snail's race.
Yeah. Yeah, but I think I'm gonna, there are people like, oh, it's kind of real messy in the market space for real estate now, and I'm like, how's it freaking messy? Just because it's not straightforward for you guys, it's some of these folks
We don't have to worry about
are wanting
interest for a
these.
minute.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not really interested in a lot of flips. Never have been because you're paying capital gains at that time and point when those things are happening. So, but the key thing is with losses to offset any gains, it's not that big of a worry. So,
Fair enough. Getting lots of piping. Lots and lots of piping. Where am I getting this cable from? Okay, there's my cable. Thus, it's an arms race. Can the one that can spit out 2 faster than the other one that only spits out 1? Probably not.
mhm.
I think the one that spits out 1 will probably win just because it's ever so slightly faster at making 1. But yes, automation engineering is a very interesting space, but it takes a long time to get to a decent spot.
Hmm.
You want to see me blow up something?
Sure.
Because it's so mundane. I don't think there's actually anything out here to blow up, but there is explosives, and that's half what I've been making here. Well, I wonder if there's a guy over here. Yeah, there's a hissy boy. I don't know where he is. Oh, he's in the walls. Never mind. Well, I was gonna try blowing him up, but he appears to be invincible.
Hmm.
Sometimes the
Okay.
AI just have a tendency of spawning inside the wall.
Hmm. Really? Huh.
Yeah, the guy there was just like hanging out inside that geometry. He can't get out, but well, he can shoot out, but he can't. Like AI won't let him get out. Dang, is there nothing out
Hmm.
here to blow up? Oh, I think there was a rock to blow up. Oh, here's this guy's. He can be blown up.
Hmm.
All right, that guy. He moves a little too fast to be blown up. Perhaps I'll go find the rock. It's a little more mundane, but at least it doesn't move. I think there's a rock somewhere. It's a certain kind of rock you have to blow it up. It's a. Oh, there it is.
Oh.
Look. No, that's not where I put you, you stupid thing.
Mhm.
When why? Just all right, whatever. It didn't even blow up the rock. Did you see this? You see this nonsense?
It's still coming up to you setting the charge, getting ready to set it on your stream. Now you just set it. I'd say you didn't set it right on it on that first one.
Oop! It looks like the wiring beat the versatile frames. Oh shoot! That might actually cause me an issue. Smart splitter. Left is going to be wire. Automated wiring. Center is frame. Yeah, there's now a backup. Just give it to me. 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 Just
That's
give
not gaming if it's just given to you. You know that.
Just give it to me. Gotta use the stuff to make the stuff to get the stuff faster. Huh. Steel is very slow.
Gotcha, Special K. This guy's been going around the base putting stupid things up that people, I guess newbies would fall for.
It does happen.
Yeah. He was an idiot. He panicked, jumped on his flash, cloaked, and shot him off of it. And instead of him pulling from the vehicle term, something like, I don't know, maybe a prowler, something bigger that could have destroyed my lightning. Yeah.
No, I must use C4 and go blow people up. I must do it. It has to be this way.
Mhm. Yeah.
Alright, we're almost there. The next round of 2, they're coming, I think. I don't know. I probably should go and check. Because apparently I was just a little inefficient on certain things. Alright. Where are they at? Oh, there they are. Here they come, the last 2 I needed. This has been like, almost like 3 weeks to get these guys like working, because I spend like several sessions and everything, just kind of just working around. But I also like didn't play for like 2 weeks because some family stuff I had to do. Ugh. There was a job change and everything. Are you ready for it? You ready for it?
Nice to know I still got my aim down.
Neat. It's done.
Light Assault tried getting me and I hit him with the armor piercing.
You ready to watch this? Load. And then send.
Yay, I'm battle rank 18, ASP.
Neat. What the heck are those? Man, this phase 3 is whack. I don't even know what those things are. Oh man, there's all kinds of oh, what the heck am I even looking at right now? Oh, there's a jetpack. Well, that's important. I can now build a truck. Oil processing. Well, alright. I'm gonna call it a night.
All right, bud. Don't have too much fun. Sleeping in your bed, that is.
Yeah, sleep. That's what I call it.
Yep.